Hi, I'm Andrew Gothelf, Marketing Manager with the Salesforce AppExchange. Welcome to App Talks. App Talks is a series of conversations with Salesforce customers to learn how business apps from the AppExchange help improve business outcomes. Today we're in North Canton, Ohio at the offices of Area Wide Protective to learn how the company is using Skedulo to manage jobs in the field and processes in the back office. I'm joined by Ashish Patel, Director of Strategic Initiatives, Mandy Parker, Support Center Director, and Jarrod Wachter, Vice President of Operations. Ashish, Mandy, thanks so much for joining us today. Thanks for having me. Can we start by telling our audience a little bit about what Area Wide Protective is and what its mission is?
Our mission is we protect our customers as people, we protect their business, we protect their time, which is our brand promise to our customers. And it translates into us going out there setting up safe and compliant work zones on a daily basis to protect the customers' crew that's working by the roadside, and also protecting the motoring public by safely navigating them through the work zones.
Can you tell me what your two roles are within the company?
I'm a Director of Strategic Initiatives at AWP, and part of that role, I help select the technological solution to help support AWP's rapid growth. We're growing fast with organic growth and also through acquisitions. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we've had 5 acquisitions in addition to all the organic growth that we are experiencing through new offices and additions of new services.
I am the director at AWP Support Center. We handle centralized scheduling and dispatch for our entire footprint. And I also was a part of the project team that handled the implementation of the Salesforce and Skedulo product.
In order to understand how far we've come, I think it's helpful to start with where you were before implementing Salesforce and Skedulo. So take us back to sort of how things were, what challenges were you faced with before we sort of got to where we are now?
For my team with scheduling and dispatch, it was pretty unwieldy. Real pen and paper process, no historical data, very, very hard to keep track of, well, what did we do? A customer called, what did we do a month ago? Well, okay, I'll go look and I'll call you back in 2 hours. So being able to automate that process for them was huge. It has also improved their ability to schedule accurately and efficiently with just having more information available to them other than, a map and some pins to know where folks are. So Ashish, for the back-end folks?
Yeah, for the back-end, just having access to that data in real time. With previous pen and paper process, getting access to that data was a really long process where multiple people were involved, entering that information into some system and then running reports. Now with Salesforce and Skedulo, we have access to all this information in real time, and we can make quicker business decisions on that data.
And your customers too, were they impacted in some way by the disparate technology stack that you had?
There was definitely an impact on our front-end scheduling process just from a historical standpoint, but Ashish on the back end?
Yeah, we have customer reporting that we do now on a monthly basis with our strategic customers, which we could not do with the pen and paper process. We measure ourselves and our performance by certain metrics, and we are reporting that to our customers, showing our performance in terms of how many jobs we performed, what percentage of time we were on time, how many inspections we performed. So all that data, we have that at our fingertips in real time thanks to Salesforce and Skedulo.
So let's talk about sort of that search for Salesforce and Skedulo. What was the timeline like? What made you sort of take that plunge into looking for a platform and a solution like Skedulo? Prior
to this project starting, we had about 40 offices, and we had just started experiencing tremendous growth. And the executive team and the senior team here at AWP sat down and tried to solve how do we put something together that we can scale, and we are not just adding bodies, which is not efficient way of scheduling when we have hyper growth. And so we embarked on a search for an application and a business platform that would help us with automating of scheduling and gathering accurate data for payroll and billing.
So what was the process like of narrowing down and then ultimately deciding on Skedulo as the solution?
So the process started by me going out on a search engine, searching for scheduling applications, and that gave me more than 10-15 results. And looking at those applications and matching with our requirements, we quickly narrowed down to 2 or 3 applications, and we engaged in further discovery calls and discussions in terms of what functionality and flexibility those solutions offered. And it became apparent very quickly that Skedulo and Salesforce was going to be a clear choice in terms of providing us the functionality and capability that we were looking for, and being able to grow with us and provide us that scalability.
It also seems like flexibility was important. Was that one of the big differentiators that Skedulo had in the search?
Absolutely. With every acquisitions we were adding, with every new service that we were adding to our portfolio, it was critical for us to be able to automate scheduling for those services and for those offices. So we really needed a solution that was flexible to implement and also to scale with those new services and with those new offices and acquisitions.
So you decided on Skedulo. What happened next? What was the implementation process and ultimately the rollout process like to your teams?
Once we selected Skedulo, Skedulo's team came out at AWP, spent a few days in really understanding our business processes, our requirements, all the variations and all the scenarios that we needed to incorporate into the application, and really documented those processes and also helped us understand what would be the best application to implement and how we should go about doing that. It wasn't just a short-term implementation, but also a long-term scalable solution. From that visit, we started programming and configuring the product. In a matter of a few months, the implementation began.
And then from your perspective, all the people out in the field, what was it like to roll out that new technology?
It was daunting for some folks. We realized very early on during the development of the training piece for them and how do you use this new product that is in front of you. In many cases, we had folks with flip phones, and how do we identify those folks and help them adjust to what is something they've never used before and very foreign. So we focused on those folks. We approached that with a train the trainer mindset to say, enable the folks that are leading our folks in the field to help them when they don't understand, and then making champions of those folks that may not have been as fluent in technology, and handling that and making them that next generation trainer.
So Skedulo is impacting a lot of your business, but can you sort of describe the breadth of features and functionalities that you're actually using Skedulo for?
We're utilizing Skedulo to enter work orders, gather all the work orders in one system, create jobs, dispatch those jobs, check statuses of all those jobs throughout the day in real time. So at any given point in time in the day, we know how many jobs we have out scheduled, how many employees are working, what their status is, how many are completed, and we have access to all those hours and data, the customer data, at our fingertips.
A lot of features, a lot of functionality. How's it impacting people? Let's start with you, Mandy, out in the field and customers as well. I mean, what has the response been like from employees to your rollout of Skedulo?
Very positive. So, there's a learning curve there, but our folks went from, inputting every detail into a tablet to just pressing a button, which was huge for them. Really focusing on keeping the work zone safe and doing what they're there to do versus the paper process. In the evenings, getting their job assignment text to them, that's become, like clockwork. So we measure here at the support center how timely we are in dispatching their schedule to them. We want to be within a 10 to 15 minute window every evening for each office. And trust me, they call as soon as that's a few minutes late to say, hey, where's my text? I need to know where I'm working tomorrow. So, seeing them become very dependent on that was exciting for us, trying to measure ourselves and be very consistent and keep that expectation where it should be.
And then in the sort of corporate side, back office, what impact has it had on people's lives there?
It was a big impact, especially for our payroll and billing department, having access to that data much earlier than previous processes based on pen and paper, and having accurate data. So there's less corrections, if any, that needs to be made for payroll and for billing, and we were able to generate invoices faster and get it out the door much faster. So our customers aren't waiting for those invoices once the work is performed, and we are collecting money much faster.
So you mentioned customers. What impact has it had sort of on the way that you're able to work with them, the feedback that you've gotten from them?
They love the new system. They love the new process. Previously, they were calling multiple different offices with the decentralized scheduling. Now they call one number, and all the information is captured here. And from there, all the work orders are dispatched. So it's a one-stop shop. So customer makes one call, and it's peace of mind for them. And it speaks truly to our brand promise of protecting their time. Once that's done, on the back-end side for their back office people, they're receiving accurate invoices. They're receiving it timely, and they're able to turn that around and submit the payment quickly. So it's also on the end loop, AWP is also benefiting from quicker payments. In addition, all the reports that we are providing, so the customer sees that AWP is performing to the metrics, and we are holding ourselves accountable to those performance levels that we promised them and the value that we bring to the table for them.
That's great. Mandy, besides scheduling, what other ways are you thinking about or currently using Skedulo?
Recently, we started working on a team concept. So we received a lot of feedback from our folks in the field, which we are constantly looking to say, how do we improve? And one of those things was I would really like to work with the same person every day. So we started looking at ways to implement a team system through Skedulo and pairing those folks together to consistently work together. We've seen improvement in retention, in engagement, in safety performance.
Gotten the sense that AWP is a very data-driven, results-oriented company. Are there metrics that you can share that would highlight the success that you've had from Skedulo and Salesforce?
The support center scorecard is actually relatively new. We didn't have that information before. You can't improve if you don't know how you're doing. So we're able to tell our folks what their error rate is. We're able to tell them how far their variance is off for dispatch time. So are we dispatching timely? And a few other metrics that belong to the phone side of things, but just having that visibility into their performance has been extremely impactful.
And from the customer side, one of the critical metric that we measure on a daily basis is on-time performance. So the customer told us to be at the job site at 8 a.m. We measure ourselves on what time did we truly get there. And that metric is shared with everybody in the company. So it's not a secret. It's not just for a customer, but also for everybody to know and be part of that. That's the biggest metric that we measure. In addition, for the back office process, we measure our invoice correction rate. And with the implementation of Salesforce and Skedulo, our invoice correction rate is the best we've ever had. That has been a tremendous value added for our billing and invoicing team.
The best you've ever had. So in terms of numbers, like how good has it gotten?
We were over 2% previously in terms of invoice corrections, and now we are at less than 0.5%.
Wow, that makes a big difference. I know sometimes it's hard to put a number on it, but just from a morale standpoint across the organization, and how have you seen people positively impacted? I guess we can start with people out in the field and then go to sort of the customer and back office side.
For our folks in the field, it's very important to us that they be cognizant of their environment, setting a safe work zone and giving that time back to them was a big advantage. In today's environment, instead of being nose down in a ticket, they're hitting a button to say, I'm here, I've started work, I've ended work, which is extremely exciting for them.
On the back end side with that data, the back office team, payroll and billing, they're ecstatic. They love Salesforce and Skedulo because it gives them data that is accurate, and they can use that data quicker than the previous process. So invoice correction rate is down. So their customers love the billing team. The payroll employees, they're also happy that they're not making corrections to the hours on the timesheet. So the field employees are also happy that they're not getting inaccurate paychecks.
Ultimately, people are getting paid on time and the right amounts. Yep. It normally leads to pretty happy customers and employees too. One of the things I know you were looking for in the search was not just a technology solution, but also a partner, and it seems like you found that with Skedulo. How has that partnership really developed, and what has it become?
From the first day when Skedulo team came on site to document our business process till now, they really become a true partner in the sense that they're not just, here's a solution, go ahead and implement this, but now what they're doing is they're staying with us and really helping us implement a best-in-the-class application which is scalable and also flexible, and helping us understand what are the pitfalls to avoid and what's a good solution to implement based on our needs. Throughout all the acquisitions and all the new services that we've added, our requirements have grown and changed. So they're really partnered with us in terms of better implementation of those new services and new products for us. So it's been a true partnership.
And bottom line, do you like it? Is it fun? I mean, it's software, but at the end of the day, has it really sort of made things easier in both of your lives?
I will be the first to say I absolutely love it. Salesforce and Skedulo and just kind of my overactive imagination and being able to, come up with ideas and how do we improve and look, we can make that a real thing. I know for me that's been invaluable.
And also for me as well, it is such a flexible tool, an application and product that no matter what new requirements come up, Skedulo team and also the Salesforce platform help us really easily implement that. We're not restricted by the platform cannot do this or the product cannot do that. It is truly flexible and scalable solution, and it doesn't require a big team of IT professionals to implement, and our implementation is a testament to that.
Now joined by Jarrod Wachter, Vice President of Operations at Area Wide Protective. So Jarrod, thanks for joining me.
Sure thing.
Start by getting a sense of your domain at the company.
Sure, so I have responsibility for our day-to-day operation, our field operation. That includes our logistics hub, our central support center. So our employee base, which we refer to as protectors, ensuring that they uphold our commitment, which is to, from a customer-facing standpoint, protect their business, protect their people, protect their time.
Spoke with Ashish and Mandy sort of about the ways in which AWP is using Skedulo and Salesforce. From your perspective, what are the biggest benefits that your teams are getting from it?
Well, it has become the underlying foundation for our deployment of our protector base. So from a scheduling standpoint, our customers in most cases through phone call, via email, some through web platform, order their requests, their jobs through our central support function. Skedulo Salesforce combination is really the logistics hub that will then in turn dispatch the daily assignment to our crews and protectors via text message. Affords them the opportunity to confirm that job. They are then the following day deployed out to the various customer properties, and allows us to collect information that makes us pretty agile within the operation.
Do you have a sense from speaking with customers just how well things work and sort of what's the feedback that you get from them?
It extends to our customer base the level of transparency that they enjoy. So we're able to measure capacity pretty real time. We're able to make sound logistic pairings, and so our efficiency has improved and of course translates into better service to them, more competitive pricing structures. One of our core metrics is our on-time arrivals. And so oftentimes our customers, more times than not, their cost structure is much more so than ours. And so our ability to be there early, at worst case on time, really provides not only a service benefit, but an economical benefit to them. So they enjoy the reporting, they enjoy the data, they enjoy the efficiency that comes with a sound logistics hub.
And as an executive, what does it mean to have all of that data in real time available to you?
Sure, so we're able to better manage the business, whether it be capacity, with just an understanding of which customers we are serving at any given point in time. At any moment, we can log in and understand full network deployment. From an operating standpoint, be it in terms of logistics, be it in terms of safety, both things are very important to us. We're able to capture data that allows us to manage the business. And so whether that be in terms of deployment, whether it be having our jobs stored in a fashion where we understand if our facilities are located in efficient locations, characteristics of our work zone. So are we adhering to our expectations in terms of quality? Are our employees adhering to our expectations in terms of our safety commitment? We're able to measure all of those items and make some sound business decisions that better all parties involved, better our protectors, better our customers, better our company and our shareholders.
Bottom line impact between Skedulo, Salesforce, I mean, what does it really mean to Area Wide Protective?
It's a significant advantage in managing our business. I know it extends into a competitive advantage in the marketplace. It's really become a foundation at which we deploy our resources. And so it's a fabric of the business. It's how we operate. In most cases, the folks that are with us have been here since our deployment of the technology, and so they understand it as the way we perform our service.
That's really great. Jarrod, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story. One of the things we like to do to wrap up App Talks is get some peer-to-peer advice. So what would you two say to those who are looking to implement technology across a large organization? What advice might you give them?
The biggest piece of advice is communication. It's a big change, and people are not accustomed to change, or they don't take change easily. So really communicating and over-communicating, this is what's going to change, this is how it's going to change, and really helping them understand how this change will benefit them. Once they see that benefit, they're more likely to go along with that change and really also help you implement that change. And we saw that with our planning and strategy, where we involved all the stakeholders in the decision-making process. When they saw that value where, okay, this change management process is involving me and I'm also part of the decision-making team, they'll go back to their team and then help them get on with this change as well.
Yeah. We really embrace the idea of change ambassadors. So, identifying those key folks that can help everyone understand, how that change is going to affect them and why we're doing it in the first place, and, how does that help me? Change is very, very hard for everyone, myself included. So it was important to us to make sure that those that were directly impacted understood what was happening and why, and that we gave them a voice to say, I love this, I hate this, and where can we tweak, and what can we do?
Ashish, Mandy, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your story. Thanks for hosting me. We will see you on the next episode of App Talks.